Welcome to the MWA podcast. I'm Kyle and I'm joined by my co-host Sean. Today we're thrilled to have friend of the show, Michael Jury, back with us. Michael, as you probably know, is an award-winning custom furniture maker and chair maker. And him and his wife, Amanda, work out of their studio located in Springfield, Virginia. So welcome back to the show, Michael.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
Yes, Absolutely. It's been a long time since you've been on. I think we've even mentioned it several times on the show. We need to get Michael back on because you're always doing something. It seems like every time I see your Instagram, hey, I got another blue ribbon award or something.
just like no more cupboards to stuff them in. I got too many of these.
Yeah.
But before we talk about those awards, let's hear from our sponsor, Sutherland Wells.
Sutherland Wells knows that exceptional craftsmanship deserves an exceptional finish. That's why they handcraft their full line of low and VOC exempt finishes and stains using the highest quality, cold-pressed, sustainably grown tung oil. Their unique polymerization process delivers the deep penetrating, grain-enhancing, non-yellowing protection of tung oil, while reducing the drying time and allowing the finish to build a beautiful, durable film. Sutherland Wells, the timeless look of traditional oil made for the modern woodworker, and use code MWA25, that's the numbers 25, for 10% off your first order.
And we'd like to thank Sutherland Wells for their sponsorship of this episode. And with that, let's thank our patrons. So who do we have to thank this week?
Yeah, we like to give our big shout out to our Patreon supporters. Today we're giving that to, oh my gosh, Blake Laurie. Wow. Blake, thanks for helping us out, guy. And if you would like to join Blake in the support of our podcast, you can go to patreon.com/MWA podcast and help us out there.
Exactly. Thanks so much, Blake. Well, let's move into what's in the shop. So, Sean, what are you doing?
I got away.
You got away.
I got away. It happens rarely, but my wife and I celebrated our 20th anniversary last week.
Saw the post. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And there were grander plans that didn't come to fruition, but we did a drive a little over 3 hours away to this cute little town in the edge of Michigan, Grand Haven, where the Grand River dumps into Lake Michigan. Big Coast Guard presence there, cute little downtown. We stayed in like a loft above one of the storefronts, like
nice.
Walking distance to two different breweries, like pretty cool. I don't know if you guys get Odd Side brew. I mean, I couldn't find it actually locally, so I don't know how widely they go, but I've heard of them. I've definitely had it before, and I was like, oh no, they're based in this town, Grand Haven, which is like a population of only a few thousand. But it was cool, good food, and it's one of these places where it's way popular, way more activity in the summertime, and we're obviously in early October, so it was, to me, nicely quieter. I got up in the morning, went and got coffee, and there were only 5 people on the street. It was pretty nice. But we took walks and took in the area, and it's very nice. Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
cool.
Kyle, how about you, man?
Well, I did have a visit from one. Do you remember Ian McKay?
Oh yeah,
from Canada.
Our Canadian friend from America's Hat.
Exactly. So his daughter came down to the Houston Galveston area. She works for one of the old companies. I believe it was Shell, and they have new hires, big conference or something like that down here. So she came down here, and then she extended her stay because she wanted to come down to Galveston. So I gave her all the things to see and do, and then me and my wife met her up for dinner. So we had a lovely time with her. So that was fantastic.
So cool. Man, I haven't seen Ian. Oh,
well. They don't have woodworking in America anymore.
I know. Well, they do.
But
but it's a little different. But no, man. Since some time ago in some Cincinnati area bar, it was the last time I saw Ian McKay. Man, oh man.
Yeah. The old woodworking in America. The new one is
the OG.
I think the new one's taking place here in this coming weekend as we're recording or something.
Oh yeah. Too quick of a change for me to get there, but maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. Yeah, we probably should do that one of these years.
I think so.
I'm hoping to get Wilbur on after that because he's giving a talk, so we can get Wilbur on and see how things went this year compared to the year before, and see how that's growing. So
I haven't really dug into that event, sadly, but I am really interested how it goes. I mean, it was such a great event before. I know it's a different company now, or a combination of prior companies that's kind of involved in that. So very interested in how they're trying to bring that kind of back.
Yeah. Well, besides that, I've made some changes to my product offerings over at the BB Custom Tools website.
I saw that. And what
Yeah.
what exactly do you mean?
Well,
What did you change?
I used to have two spindle drilling guides. I originally had the spindle drilling guide, which I have named the standard spindle drilling guide. And basically that would drill spindle holes in your, arm rail, whatever it is that you have there, or your bow, whatever. But it would go from 5/16 up to 1/2 inch. And then when, stick chairs got popular, I got a lot of requests. Hey, can you do something that does, bigger holes? Well, they're looking to drill 5/8 inch holes. So I was able to look and find a new bracket that happened to be quite a bit more expensive than the bracket I was using, that would handle drill bushings that have a 3/4 inch outside diameter. And that would allow me to drill holes from 5/16 all the way up to 5/8. So that was pretty popular, and then kept getting more and more popular. I've been monitoring that for the past few months. So I finally decided, hey, we're just going to do away with the standard spindle drilling guide. And it's not because the thing is, it's the drill bushings, the main thing. They're kind of expensive, for something to keep on hand, and to have two different sets on hand, it's just got to a thing. So basically I sold my last standard spindle drilling guide, easy for me to say, a couple of weeks ago, and was able to sell almost my last bushing. I still have a couple left over. I was just like, okay, with that, I'm just going to kill that product, because like I said, it wasn't, 1 out of every 10 I sold was that. And so anyway, so I just made that change. And then the other big change, I think we've talked about this, Sean, before offline, is I'm getting out of the drill bit business. So I was doing the long, the drill bits with the long center brad for drilling at angles. And I was having a company, I think I've mentioned before, WL Fuller out of Rhode Island, make those for me. And it just got to a point where I was getting more and more sales with, people buying everything except for the drill bit. So they already had a drill bit solution or things like that.
Yep.
And the drill bits I did have available, I got down again till I had, just a couple left. So I decided, okay, let's just kill that. And I put on the website how to contact WL Fuller and who to contact there, and you can have them custom make you one in whatever size you want.
Nice.
Because I was just carrying the 5/8 and 1/2 inch, but they can make them in any size. But I think that gets out, and drill bits were kind of a hassle, to do.
Sure.
Because it's a lot, because to do them, once again, it's carrying costs and inventory. I'm buying, $2,000 worth of drill bits. I get them in, I have to clean them. I have to put them in a new little tube. Well, I clean them, I test them, put them in a little tube, and I was making maybe $10 a bit.
with all that work you're doing.
With all that work, it's
Sure.
yeah. So
They're nice bits. I've got a couple of them. I guess I'm lucky I've got.
There you go.
well, I mean, you can still get them from WL Fuller.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
I don't know who I saw. It was
Yeah.
somebody, obviously on social media, that they drilled, or they kind of modified their own. And I just saw they. You can before and after.
You can do
grind,
them.
You can grind a bit to do this.
Yeah, Pete Galbert has some stuff on making the ones with the long center brads. He also has some new ones, kind of like the stiletto bits we used to offer, that he shows you how to grind those. So I think some people have gone. I think that's one reason the drill bits haven't been selling as quickly as they were in the past, is because people are kind of going that route and maybe grind it. Yeah. I'm glad to see it. And, like I said, I mean, when I think Pete was doing this with the new Bismarck style bits that he developed, and a new way to grind them. And he even called me and go, and talk to me about it. He goes, I'm about to introduce this, and I just don't want to step on your toes. And I go ahead, step all you want. I make virtually nothing on the drill bits. It's basically a pain in the butt to carry them, stock them and stuff. Yeah. So there you go.
Good business changes, I think.
Yeah. And I also have I think I talked about this, I don't know, a couple of months ago, but I have a new stretcher drilling guide for drilling leg stretchers in the legs. But anyway, it's for straight cylindrical tendons. So I have that. That's gone out to friend of the show for testing. Came back with rave results. So I'm about ready to introduce it. I should have introduced it probably about 6 weeks ago, but I had some travel going on. And then when I was about ready to introduce it, then that's when I broke my collarbone. And so it's like, I'm not doing it right now. So hopefully this weekend, I'll put the finishing touches on the introductory video that I'm doing and get that out there. Of course, I would have said that last week too, and life got in the way. So hopefully nothing happens this weekend. But anyway, and I can get that finished up and out there. So I'm excited about that. And basically, this is a hardware only solution. And so I'm going to give you links. If you want to make your own, you can go out there and, get the hardware and, just put it together, and super simple, easy to do. If you buy it from me, you'll get a couple of, nice to have accessories like the cinder finder that I produce. I'll include that, as well as a little jig that helps you drill 8 stretchers, and then a little nut driver that will make more sense once you see the video. So I won't go into too much detail on that.
All right.
Cool.
Anyway, but like I said, it's a hardware only solution. So if you want to make it yourself, you can. And once you see these accessories are easy to make yourself too, if you want to.
Nice.
But
now you mentioned it. How's your shoulder?
Oh, it's, I don't know, 90%. I mean, I can go all the way up. I still get a little sore here, but
no tennis or pickleball on the weekends. Yeah.
No. And I moved a big Chase lounge this morning. I shouldn't have probably done that.
All right. Take care of yourself, man.
Hey, I'm doing my exercises. So
good.
Yeah, there you
Very
go.
good.
But yeah, it's one of those things, like the doctor said, at your age, it's going to be a while. So, so I'm hoping in like 3 months, I'll be, pretty much back to normal. So we'll see. But like I said, I'm 85, 90% there. So with that, Michael, what's going on in your shop?
Yeah, I've been working through some Windsor chair designs lately, having fun doing that. Took a little time between commissions to work on some new things for fun and add to the portfolio. I just glued up a sack back this morning. That was fun and stressful. And I'm going to start working on a settee tomorrow. And then we got a show next month. So I'm kind of building a couple of our greatest hits kind of pieces that we'll take to that show. So yeah, plenty to keep me busy.
Fantastic. Well, so you worked on these designs for new Windsor chairs? Are these more contemporary or?
No, these are traditional classic. I did the balloon back and the cone back from Pete Albert's book, and I just built a C-arm and the sack back from Curtis Buchanan's plans. So I just turned them all with a double bobbin, the bamboo legs, and so they have maybe a slightly more contemporary look to them, but they're pretty much the classic designs.
Okay.
And so, not just building the chair, but trying to improve my process. Like maybe one chair, I'll grind the drill bits, like you just mentioned. So I'll get better mortises, and then spend some time really digging into milk paint and trying to get a better finish on the next chair. So it's been a really fun process. And then I'll have my photographer come over and shoot those, and have some new things in our portfolio after that.
Oh, fantastic! So, have you been following Chris's milk paint, the book that's supposed to come out of that?
Yeah, that's exciting. Yep. Well, before that, I was following. Pete Galbert did another series in the Substack on milk paint. Really changed everything for me. I was getting a much better quality finish after watching those posts. Yeah, and like he does a real thin wiping coat of shellac in between the paint coats, so it all dries really fast. You can get almost a whole chair painted in a day. That method, yeah.
How many coats are you doing?
Like maybe three or four.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been exciting. I mean, it's something I used to dread, and then once you really figure out the process a little bit better, it's like, oh, this is kind of fun, and it really brings the chair to life once you get a nice color or layers of color and better finish.
Yeah. So is
So-
it true what he says about, as far as once you put this shellac on top of the milk paint as you're going through the different layers, that when you're abrading, if you have to do some abrading to, make it smoother stuff, you don't get the mountain of dust anymore?
Yeah, no, there's much less of that. It's almost
Wow.
like that thin coat of shellac kind of does the abrading for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's much less of the, and he has some products too for the rubbing out. So I used to just use steel wool, which was such an awful mess, and it would eat right through the paint. And so, it's kind of defeating, but this seems to be going much better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm interested to try it out. So yeah, I
The big
saw that.
was he has a method to mix the paint, but also with a paint strainer. I hadn't been straining it before, so it's a much thinner paint, but still an opaque finish.
Yeah. Yeah. I've strained it before. And who was it? I saw another. It was Elia Bizzari had a milk paint video years ago.
Saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah, where he was running it through. I forgot what what those little funnel things are called, but yeah, where it measures the viscosity of the paint and
And
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried that, but
Yeah, I tried it. It was good, but see, that's the only thing is going through all of that. It just becomes a complete mess when you're mixing this stuff up.
Yeah.
And the thing about milk paint is if you don't clean it off right away and it
Yeah.
dries, I mean,
Forget about
you're sitting there with a chisel almost trying to pick the stuff off.
Yeah.
Even plastic. Yeah. It's a mess.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm excited, and I'm also excited about what Chris Forrest. I forgot what the gentleman's name was. If you told me, I would know it, but
I don't remember.
Something Knox or something like that, I think. But anyway, he's coming out with the book, and it looked pretty interesting. I'm gonna give that a go too. So, and
it's pretty exciting. It's my wife walked by and she's like, "You're literally watching videos about paint drying." Yep.
We're trying to get it to dry faster.
That's like an old time bad joke. It's like
Right.
paint drying. Like,
Oh, well, with that, Michael, so tell us a little bit about how your business is going. MWA576. How's it evolved over the couple of years since we last talked to you?
I think we talked to maybe about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's continued to evolve. I've been doing this. I did it for this is my second career, I mentioned last time, and for 20 years I was a musician, and then did it as a hobby, and I've done it full time since 2019. And it started out, taking whatever lead I get. So I did. That was early in the pandemic, so everybody wanted a new home office. So I was doing a ton of built-ins, cabinets, bookcases, and I got pretty burnout on that quickly, especially the installs and the painting. And so transitioned to making only furniture maybe 5 years ago. And then since we've spoken, I think we're trying to evolve maybe more towards customizable over just custom. So we've kind of developed a small line of furniture pieces in our portfolio, and then offer those as pieces that we can customize rather than just doing totally one-off all the time. For me, it gets a little frustrating in a small shop, and it becomes inefficient to always just do strictly one-off custom.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where we're trying to go. We have a little line of pieces with marquetry, which Amanda, my wife, does beautiful marquetry, and then some pieces with kumiko. I kind of got interested in kumiko, Japanese, a few years ago, and then I think 3 years ago when we talked, I was kind of interested in chair making, and I think Kyle, you mentioned, well, be careful if you get interested in Windsors. And so it's kind of consuming my life, but our range of options with the chairs and benches and other seating has really grown, from ladder backs and benches to now some more Windsors. So that's kind of our goal, is to have pieces that we can customize, but be more efficient in the process of making them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And for our listeners, go back and listen to our first interview with Michael. That was episode 429 and 428. And you can hear more about your background. But for new listeners out there, you weren't just a musician. Tell us a little bit about your music history.
yeah. So I studied music performance in college and graduate school. I was a trumpet player, and I was fortunate to go to good schools and stay with the best teachers. And then grad school is wrapping up, and I thought, man, I need a job. And it's kind of like the furniture making world where it's pretty tough. So I ended up I auditioned. I got a job in the United States Army Band called Pershing Zone, which is in Fort Myer, Virginia, which is just across the river from Washington, D.C., next to Arlington National Cemetery. So I was a trumpet player in the band for 20 years, and then I developed this woodworking hobby along the way. But so for 20 years, I got to do something I really loved, and played with great musicians and had all the great benefits of being in the military. So it was wonderful. Yeah. And actually my wife, Amanda, she did the same. She was an oboe player also in the band.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's where you met.
No, we met in graduate school. We went to different schools, but we met over the summer, kind of were long distance for years. I was in upstate New York and she was in Boston. And then I moved down to Washington, got this job, and then she came with me. About a year later, she won the position too. So it's a funny thing because you audition as a civilian. It's very competitive, and then if you are selected, if you win the audition, kind of just like an orchestra audition, that's when you enlist in the Army. You go to basic training. So you don't do it the other way around.
Interesting.
But they're very clear about it. They just say, hey, don't see a recruiter until we offer you a job.
Wow. And are you treated any differently through basic training?
Yes.
Because they want to protect your playing fingers, like
No, that's a problem is so we're enlisted, and even though most band members have advanced degrees, and anywhere else in the Army you'd be an officer, we were enlisted, but as an incentive to recruit good musicians, you start out at the rank of staff sergeant in the Army, which is an E6 on a scale of 1 to 9.
Yeah. Okay.
The drill sergeants, coincidentally, are also staff sergeants, and they've been in the Army probably 10 years. And 2 weeks, and all of a sudden we're the same rank. So yes, they do treat you differently.
Yeah. Interesting.
And in the sense that they're not happy that you've acquired their same
Right.
rank.
Well, of course. But like,
Yeah.
you also don't have to necessarily be as hardened as a combat, guy. Like, because you're not
Right.
going to see live fire. You're going to entertain.
Right. So part of my unit, I didn't do this, but part of the band would have a short deployment over the holidays each year when we were still in Iraq and Afghanistan, like as part of the USO to entertain the troops.
Right.
So
Right.
they were, trumpets, not rifles, but they were. I never really left Washington, which is,
That's all right. You get to play for some inaugurations, those kind of things. Yeah. That's awesome.
It goes back to Reagan. Yeah. So I did a lot of cool things. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's nice. So do you play in a band now?
No, I closed the book on that. And
Wow.
our youngest is kind of following her footsteps. So she's in music school now. So we live vicariously through her.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
With good chops. Like,
Yeah.
both I never performed music. I can play piano and guitar. I did that, in my childhood, but like never
Mhm.
schooling. But both my boys went through just the local school system.
Yeah.
One of them went trumpet, one of them went clarinet. They did that through high school, drum major for one.
Wow.
My youngest went to college, transferred to saxophone, played for a year, decided not to do it another year, but like they got a little bit of like a musical ability. Not to your level, but but like, yeah, like both you and your wife both having that like experience and performance and other things like I honestly, it could be aggravating from your end. Like just kind of watching, going, no, you can do.
Yeah. Fortunately, she's really good, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, that's super cool. Hopefully,
It's funny.
it follows a little
I'm
bit
sorry.
in your shoes.
I hope so. It's funny how many current or former professional or really high level musicians I've met that are now woodworkers. And I attribute it to like, both pursuits. You spend a lot of time alone, really focused on really trying to make something the best you can. And so previously somebody asked me like, who are my teachers or did I go to school? And I said, for the most part, until I started taking chairmaking classes, I was pretty much self-taught, but you can learn woodworking pretty well on your own, but just taught me like this relentless pursuit of self-improvement, always trying to get better, the pursuit of perfection. So I think those two, it translated very well.
Yeah. I mean, I can think back and we've had discussions of like dentists are often like dentists and engineers are often woodworkers because
Yep. Doctors, surgeons. Yep.
that detail, like the motor control, those kind of things. But musicians are also in that camp where you're right, like the pursuit of perfection, the focus on performance matters.
Yep. Yeah. You're obsessive and you're used to being alone for long periods of time.
Well, fantastic. Well, let's move on back to MWA Woodworks. So you're trying to do more customizable type furniture and stuff like that. And of course, you've gone down the dark side of woodworking into chair making.
Yeah.
So at this point, what are your favorite pieces to design and build and stuff like that? What do you enjoy most doing?
I love designing pieces with marquetry because I get to collaborate with Amanda. So that's really
yeah, I was going to ask you that too. So Amanda, as far as bringing her into the business, so is she primarily doing the marquetry and stuff like that?
Yeah, she does all the marquetry, and outside of that, she's really good at weaving. So if we have a commission for like ladder back chairs, she'll weave Danish cord or shaker tape or reed. She won't do not that I can ever really get it, but she won't work hickory bark because it's just real bare. But she's not interested in that. But the other seats she's really good at. And otherwise, yeah, she got into marquetry, I think about 3 years ago, just after we spoke last time, and just really took to it, and now is working at it like every day. And she's gotten really good. So that's been fun. And it's something I saw years ago, and I thought, wouldn't that be cool to incorporate furniture? But as you know, in this craft, it's kind of endless what you can do. And eventually I told myself, I gotta focus somewhere. I can't do it all. And I said, again, being a musician, she's really meticulous and very creative. I said, maybe you should take a class, give this a shot. And she took to it really well and took a few classes, and now is just at it all the time and has done some really nice stuff. So those pieces are really fun to collaborate on.
Okay. Well, good. So it sounds like you'll need to take a trip to Italy. I still got to get a hold of Frank and say, hey, Frank, put together your tour,
Yeah, I saw that. Really cool. Yeah.
Well, cool. So you like to do the pieces with the marquetry and stuff like that. So now as far as the designs that are customizable, I'm trying to get into that. What are you talking about? You mean customizable in terms of like finishes or sizes or stuff like that?
I mean the simplest is sizes and wood species, but also within that portfolio, you can see kind of our aesthetic, and maybe you can envision something that fits within that line rather than something totally random. Or maybe you can see Amanda's marquetry and think, oh, maybe I would like to have that on a different type of furniture, and we could do something like that.
Yeah, because I know she does a lot of the cherry blossom type marquetry and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's really popular in Washington.
Yeah.
So, and as far as the chairs, like I've just been building a ton of chairs because I figure if somebody's looking for a set of chairs, the more options they have, the better. And chairs are very customizable from the finish or the material or the seating option and ladder back chairs. So that's kind of our strategy for now.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, so what keeps y'all inspired to keep doing this? It's got to be the money, right?
Oh yeah, it's the money. It's all the money. Fame and fortune. Well, I think we both just love what we do and try to learn new things. But I will tell you a story that was really inspiring. A few weeks ago, we're up in New England and we visited Amanda's folks that she grew up outside of Boston. And we kind of did the tourist thing. We walked the Freedom Trail through the North End. It's kind of actually near North Bennett Street in that area. And Faneuil Hall is this place, probably dates back a few hundred years, and that was kind of like a meeting place before the Revolution. And in that place are these chairs built by Amanda's great grandfather, probably around 1820, 1830. He made these chairs. He was a chairmaker in Boston, and he made furniture, but he made these beautiful chairs that are still in use there. And I'm actually sitting on one right now. It's in our office. That was just really cool. Amanda posted a few photos on Instagram. But you wonder like what does all this mean? Like, why am I doing this? And then you see this chair, and I'm sitting in this chair, and that's his legacy from 200 years ago, and that's how he's remembered now, and he still has an impact on that place and all those people that go through that building. So I thought that was really inspiring. So that makes me think long and hard on what we want to do, what kind of work we want to do, and there's also, like, I read recently in Peter Galbert's book, in the afterword, he says, there's only so many pieces you can build in your lifetime, so you got to make each one count. Really, really focus on what you're going to do. And so that line, along with his name was John C. Hubbard, and seeing John C. Hubbard's chairs and Faneuil Hall was really motivating. That was really inspiring. Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah. So, so you snuck out of there with one of the chairs, then, right? That you're sitting in.
Yeah. Amanda's parents, they'd go around to every antique store in Boston looking for these chairs and buy them up so that all the family members could have one. So now I think everyone has one in their home, which is pretty cool. And it's got his stamp.
I was gonna say, how do you identify it? Is it a touch mark? Is it a stamp? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still in great shape. Joints are solid.
That's phenomenal.
Very cool.
That is really, really cool. Yeah, things come around full circle almost, It's like,
yeah. So I mean, that's his legacy. I don't know what he'd be remembered for if you still couldn't see his chairs and sit in his chairs and his name underneath. Otherwise, you might just be forgotten 200 years later.
Yeah, I mean, back in that time, was he just one of many making chairs? I know that area is rife with that kind of stuff.
There were many, but as I understood it, he built mostly functional office furniture. So it seems like he's pretty prolific because these chairs are everywhere. So
that's
he must
wild.
have been in a pretty good shop to produce this work.
What a legacy! That's super cool.
Yeah. I'll do my best.
Yeah. I think there's a book in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Well, so tell us a little bit about some of the shows that you've been exhibiting in and winning in and whatnot. So, and how does that work for y'all as far as getting commissions and stuff like that?
Yeah, good question. We started doing shows about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, kind of at the end of COVID. We were doing outdoor shows because those were still going on, and those outdoor shows are kind of tough for a furniture maker because you get a lot of people. You get tens of thousands of people, but along with that there's their kids and their ice cream cones and their dogs and the weather and the we kind of tried to step away from those outdoor shows a few years ago, and now we do some indoor fine craft shows, kind of in the mid-Atlantic region here, and we've kind of been focused on maybe just 2 in the spring, 2 in the fall, and we've done the same few the last few years. In the fall, we've done the Philadelphia Museum of Art show, which I didn't apply this year, but that's coming up. And then in November, we're doing it's called the Richmond Craft and Design Show. That's really fun. It's in a beautiful old train station downtown Richmond, and it's a really fun event. A lot of great work. And then in the spring, we usually do the American Craft Council show in Baltimore. That's a big show. And then the last couple of years, we've done the Smithsonian Craft Show. So we can get in again this year. We'll do it. It's very competitive. So we'll see.
Of course, that seems the most competitive.
Yeah. So these are all these are all juried shows where you have to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you aim for those top shows, and they're competitive to get into, and they're very expensive, but you've got the right target clientele. So these people are generally, they understand fine craft, and they usually have to spend $25 or so to get in the door. So they're not just doing this for some entertainment, on a Saturday afternoon, but maybe they're more serious about potentially buying or commissioning a piece. So
yeah. How often are you making something specific for a show you're going to?
Well, each season we'll try to add maybe a couple new pieces for those season's shows. So, and then if something didn't really get a lot of attention the last season, then maybe we'll get rid of that. I mean, it's the best thing is you get feedback from not necessarily just clients and buyers, but people walking through what they gravitate towards. So is that we always bring, because we can always almost count that those pieces will sell, and then we add a couple new. So I've been, like I said, a bit obsessed with chair making, so there'll be more chair display. We're able to get a bigger booth for the show next month, so it'll be some more chairs, and also the Kumiko and some marquetry stuff too. So,
yeah, and I imagine having chairs there is also nice because they can come in, they can sit down,
they can sit. Yeah. Well, and a chair is something I think if I was going to commission a set of chairs from a chair maker, I would want to sit in it first. I wouldn't, you can see if it's beautiful online, but you can't necessarily tell if it's well made or if it's comfortable. So if they can sit in it, that I think that's the best. That's hopefully the best way to sell them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we try to bring a mix of, some ladder backs, some Windsors, rockers, benches, several different things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's very interesting. Very cool. So tell us about some of the awards you've won at some of these shows.
Oh,
So many awards you can't remember off the top of it.
Mhm.
problem is Tony, winning the award's pretty tough because the level is just so high. And some of those shows, it depends. Sometimes they'll have maybe just one award. Some shows will have an award in a category. Some might have a wood category. Some might have a furniture category. We did win like the best in our category at the American Craft Council show. I think that was last year. We won best in show. It was a design competition called the International Society of Furniture Designers. That was in High Point years
Yeah.
ago. We won a best in show award at the Providence Fine Furnishing show a few years ago. So yeah, I mean, that's always like really humbling because there's always a lot of great work there. And what it comes down to, whether it's the jury admission or somebody that is selecting an award, it's that person's opinion. So I don't always feel like necessarily I'm the best. That one individual, that panel of 3 jurors liked our work. So
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, have you noticed your name, your kind of your reputation increasing over the years of winning these different awards along the way?
Oh, I don't know.
Are you a little more recognizable?
Well, I'd hope so. I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know.
I mean,
Well-
we respect the hell out of you.
Yeah,
But
well-
we're not your buying customers.
I think if you win an award, you get a little money, which is pretty nice. But I think for me, it just lends credibility. So if you have it on your bio, and somebody's
Sure.
looking at spending a lot of money on handmade furniture, they can see like, oh, like maybe Mike and Amanda, they've been recognized from some people in the field that maybe know what they're talking about, that their work is good. So I think that's kind of what the award means, I guess, is it lends a little credibility.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I wish we do, here in Texas, we just don't have those type of shows or exhibits or whatnot. There's a few, but nowhere near what y'all have there on the
I'm also
East
in
Coast.
an absolute dead zone.
Okay.
It's not just
Yeah, they seem to be concentrated on the East Coast, which we're lucky. I mean, those shows that we do, they're all the only one we have to stay out of town for is probably Philadelphia. The others,
all drivable.
Yeah. So
Phenomenal.
people come from the country to do these things, or so it's a big investment.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, so tell us about some of the classes you've taken, and I think you're now teaching some classes coming up.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So, a few years ago, like I mentioned, I got pretty excited about chair making. I took a Jeff Lefkowitz invited Shay Alexander and I to do just sort of a more intimate class with Jeff. We made a Boggs armchair. That was after he said he'd sort of semi-retired, and then I had
He's been saying he's semi-retired or retired for like 10 years now, it seems.
Right. And, I had never used a draw knife. I'd never probably even seen a shave horse. I barely used a spoke shave before that class, and it was humbling. And then I finished it, and the chair is really nice because of Jeff's instruction. But I was like, whoa, I don't know if that's for me. That's really hard. And then Jeff Conley invited Shay and I back, and we made the Boggs rocker. And then those processes they felt a little more familiar, so that was a little smoother. And the rocker, again, thanks to Jeff's instruction, turned out really well. And then I was like, man, this is just really fun. And I also had a opportunity. I took like a one-on-one class with David Douillard a few years ago. We made a sack back, and that was really great too. And then I took a continuous arm class with Peter Galbert just this past winter, as I was really excited to get a chance to meet Pete and work with him. And he's just such an amazing teacher. So really, all three of those guys, what's inspiring to me is not just their skill level and their instruction, but they've all kind of created this life around chair making and teaching, which is really something I want to aspire to. Really pretty cool. They're all really generous, fantastic guys, and they're so sharing, and then it suits my work, or my I guess my business really well, because I just have a relatively small shop. So I I just am not interested in making large scale pieces of furniture anymore. And the more I make chairs, I realize it suits my workflow really well. It suits my shop, my space. It's really efficient with materials, because you're not using these big slabs, to make a dining table. It's a lot of small parts that you assemble into a chair. So yeah, so like one thing led to another, and these classes have kind of got me thinking a lot about what I want to do. And I'm very interested in teaching, and I was invited to teach next summer, 2026, at the Sam Buford Woodworking Institute in Adrian, Michigan, not too far from Sean, and not
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yep,
we
yep.
know those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. And I was looking at the schedule just earlier, and I may stop up and see you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Right, just after 4th of July, right? You're gonna be up there?
Yes, yeah, exactly. I grew up maybe like an hour and a half from there in Adrian. I went to University of Michigan, which is
My
like,
parents live in Adrian. I know
oh
exactly
yeah,
what you're talking about.
yeah, it's so close by. And actually, when I was a music student in Michigan, and I would play in the Adrian Symphony a
Mm.
couple times a year. So I knew that little community really well. And then our oldest is a junior at Michigan State. So it's funny, Amanda and I were driving to pick her up or
You
something.
let her go to Michigan State?
I'm so sorry.
I grew up right near Michigan State, and all of my family are big fans. We
Little brother has a fantastic school up there. They're fine. They're fine.
up, and I got a sticker on my truck, and I watched the games. And
Oh no.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry
yeah.
you're so
Oh.
disappointed. Like purely on the football team, but like it's fine.
Yeah, well,
Fine.
yeah. Well, basketballs, they're
Yeah, they got the basketball.
But we were doing that drive to Michigan, which we do from the East Coast like several times a year. I was listening to your podcast, of course, and you had Luke on, and he's talking about the school. The story was just incredible. And I always think we're driving right by Adrian on 23. I was like, well, at some point we should stop and introduce
Mhm.
ourselves and say hey. And then not long after, Luke reached out and said, would you be interested in teaching a class? And I was like, yeah, I'm super excited about that. So I'm gonna teach a 5-day class on a like this modern Windsor that I designed. I call it a spindleback Windsor. It has ash undercarriage and a walnut seat, and then rived ash spindles and a walnut crest. So it's a nice looking chair, and it's really comfortable, and it's pretty simple to make. And I think that would give students kind of the fundamentals of Windsor chair making, and something that they could make in 5 days and take a comfortable chair home. And it will make it from kiln dried lumber too, which I think is a big hurdle for some chair making. It was for me. It continues to be a challenge to source some of those materials, but we can make this all from a board. And in fact, we can even rive out the ash spindles from a board. So because the chair, it doesn't have any posts, so it's 9 spindles with nothing to support them. So it flexes as you sit back in it, which is really, but because of that, the spindles really need to be rived and shaved so that the grain is continuous, so they can flex without breaking.
Right.
So yeah, it's a really comfortable chair. It's really fun to make, and I'm really llooking forward to that class.
Mm.
Okay,
Might-
you better
might be
sign
up
up,
there.
Sean, before we
I
put this
know, I
episode.
know.
I just saw on their website, and their classes are really reasonably priced.
Yep.
And
Yep.
because I know I know, as having taken some classes, it's not just the tuition, but it can be for some people the travel expenses and the time work. And I know that's not easy. So we were kind of going back and forth. Do we need 5 or 6 days? And we settled on 5 days for this class. So might make it hopefully easier for people to accommodate that into their schedule if they're interested. But
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, for me, I mean, I'm just over the border into Ohio.
yeah, you could commute.
It's a 25-minute drive. Like it's
Yeah.
nothing to get up there. It's easy. I've not actually visited the school, but like so my parents live up there and they moved up there in
Yeah.
the late 90s, and so like I know relatively the area. Great place. If anybody's thinking about going, absolutely, check it out. I think the Sam Buford School is a fantastic opportunity. They've actually the first time I got to talk to those guys, and I've known about them for years, but
Mhm.
I approached them at in Amana, Iowa, at Handworks a couple of years
Oh.
ago. Like that was those, and then we had him on the show afterwards, and it was like, oh man, like you guys are in my backyard, effectively,
Yeah.
like in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Such a cool opportunity for anybody interested in this area where
Yeah.
I kind of exist, where we really don't have a whole lot going on, so they're in a perfect position to catch those that are interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we were talking to Luke, I mean, some of the stuff that he mentioned kind of off the air, I mean, they're going big time.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really,
It's
I mean,
really
it's really cool. Not to glaze him a little, any more than we need to, but like what he's doing with outreach and
Yeah.
military and education and things like, it's really cool. Really, really cool.
Yeah. I was really inspired to see what he was doing with veterans and with young people.
Yeah.
And yeah, the outreach is really impressive. It looks like an awesome building.
Mhm.
Staff. So yeah, it seems like a great thing. And yeah, as you said, Sean, I don't think there's much else kind of in that area.
There really isn't. I mean, our local woodcraft closed down, like it, and didn't open 15 years ago. Like we got very limited in my area. I mean, yeah, we're talking about like an hour commute. There are very little opportunities for anything of this craft. Like the internet has made it a whole lot more possible, but
Yeah.
and like, but like shows, I mean, like I'm like we joked about earlier, like the WIAs, they're not like they were used to be, but 15 years ago, I was driving 3 hours away to find something because there was nothing else. Like that's reality around here. It's just way different.
Yeah.
But if I don't make it, I'll talk to the wife. I'll see if I can do that. I will at least come up and have a beer with you guys at night. At least.
No, you need to go take a chair class, Sean.
Oh God, did you need me to go down that rabbit hole?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I think
have a small house, Kyle. I don't know how many chairs I can fit. I don't know.
We should see my wife. She's like, where are we going to put this chair? And I told her, I said, we don't have a floor in our house anymore. It's just chairs. You want to get from one room to the next, you just got to scoot your butt across the chairs.
That's crazy. I laughed when I visited Kyle some years ago. Jesus, Kyle, was that 5 years ago? Yeah, it was in 2020. Before,
yeah, it was right before. It was right before COVID.
Right before the pandemic. And Kyle has like examples, like his Nakashima couch and this, and then the dining room tables, and it's he's many examples, but it like kind of fills his space.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. My house isn't that big. It's like, I don't know.
No, it's not.
1,700 square feet, something like that, in the living areas. Yeah, but
1,600 square feet of chairs.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, a lot of furniture.
He went into the jig business, so there's a lot more jigs.
Yeah,
that's
that held me from building too many chairs. But but in doing the jig business, have to do all these demos. So you should see how many chair parts and seat blanks I have laying around. Someday these are all going to be chairs. But with that, so tell us a little bit about your studio you work out of. Has that changed since last time?
Yeah, we have. Sorry, you say, has it changed?
Yeah.
No, I mean, well, it's evolved a bit as I've gotten more into chair making because I had a shave horse and all these bending forms and templates and a kiln, then a bigger kiln, and a bigger kiln. So it has taken up some more real estate in my shop, but otherwise, my studio is we built the structure behind our house and we just live in a suburban area. So it's 24 by 24, which is great, for where we are. It's fine for what I want to do. I wish I had some more storage for lumber, so I could, buy lumber in larger quantities and store logs and things like that. But other than that, it's a cozy shop. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you can think about that space, but once you start putting stuff in it, it gets filled pretty quick.
Yep. For years I had a couple one-car garage shops that were uninsulated, and but it's amazing what you get done. And I build a lot of furniture in our house in those little shops. I build all our kitchen cabinets, and you can do it. It's just a little more room, and it's a little more comfortable.
Now, what is Amanda using for her marquetry stuff?
Yeah, she uses what is or sometimes doubles as our music studio. So she has a little workspace down there, and she has her scroll saw down there. The veneer is kind of in her basement or in my shop. It's kind of everywhere. But yeah, yeah, we do talk about, eventually relocating when our girls are out of school, and maybe someplace where we have space to have a slightly bigger shop and storage, and then maybe like a bigger teaching space. And the dream would also be to have like a small area attached to the shop, which could be a gallery. So we could have that, maybe open to the public 1 or 2 days a week, or by appointment, or, just a place to also store the spec pieces we take to shows and things like that. So yeah, those are our
Yeah.
dreams. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
for where we are, geographically, and where we are in our life right now, we're like, 10 or maybe 10 miles from Washington, D.C., but, I have a woodworking business at home. So that's pretty great. I don't have to commute. I don't have to lease shop space. So, it's a trade-off. My shop's kind of small, but, for 20 years, I commuted 12 miles, and it took me an hour each way. So this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not
that's
bad. And the clientele you have in that area has got to be fabulous
Yeah,
too.
That's
So,
right.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the East Coast is so receptive to
Yes. Mhm.
mhm.
in a historic way, and just
Yeah.
kind of progressive way at the same time. Like that you're in a great spot for doing
Mhm.
what you're doing, for sure.
And there aren't. I know a lot of woodworkers in this area, but I don't know a lot of full-time or professional makers. Maybe some cabinet makers. I know a few guys in DC that do really wonderful work, but it's not like in New England. I mean, when we're up there, it's like everywhere is some
Mhm.
professional. They're all
Yeah, like
fantastic.
I was in Maine last summer, and we were driving down kind of the coast from Bar Harbor to a town a little south of there, and I
Mhm.
happened upon this Windsor school. Like, oh hey,
Yeah.
like amazing, like just
Yeah.
on the side of the road.
Yeah.
What's the chances?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weirdly how quickly that withers away as you get a little further, inward in the country. It just
Yeah.
it exists so heavily there, and
Well,
it
it's a tradition, I
doesn't
think.
spread that far.
Yeah. That's what was happening 200 years ago.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I'm sitting on it. I mean, a very production, wooden chair that was built by some department store or bought by some
Mhm.
department store back in the day. But it like you don't see that. Like I mean, I don't
Right.
tour my neighborhood, but like you don't see Windsor chairs in this area, and I'm less than 600 miles from you. Like it's not that
Right.
far.
Right. Yeah, when I grew up in Michigan, like people would buy Amish furniture.
Yeah,
That was
exactly. A lot of it. Yeah.
But in England, either you have, you mostly have antiques because they're everywhere and they're affordable.
Yep.
And they're, well made, and they're real wood. Like,
Yeah, that's super cool.
yeah.
Yeah, we have the Amish stores here, and a buddy of mine was outfitting an office like during COVID when he had to,
Mhm.
hey, I need an office now, so he went to one of the Amish places to get it. I think you still had to wait a few months before everything arrived. But anyway, yeah, I got this from the Amish store. You're a woodworker, you know about the Amish. And
Yeah,
I'm like, they're using heavy industrialized machines just like
Yeah.
everybody else.
I know
Texas
Amish
Amish
has a
are built
CNC.
different.
Yeah, yeah, that was totally CNC'd out,
Yeah. No,
Problem is
like
they're
legitimate Amish. We
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a few
It
shops
was,
around here.
yeah.
all told, I looked at it when he got it delivered. It was done pretty well.
Yeah.
It was done well.
It's hot
Yeah.
in Texas.
Yeah.
Amish ain't doing that.
Oh, who knows where this stuff was coming from? They just had a storefront.
Oh, sure. Okay. They're sourcing it from
Yeah.
up here. Is what they're doing.
Mhm.
The Pennsylvania Amish, the Middle Ohio
Yeah.
Amish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only complaint is they're very under. I mean, they're just very cheap. And I think it's probably fine, but their prices, nobody else could compete with that
Mhm.
have more of a, kind of modern lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, you
really
figure that they've
expensive.
been doing it for so long, they've refined efficiency to a level where it's possible. Like
Yeah.
they can mass produce at
Yeah.
whatever numbers, and it can't compete with the individual.
Well, and I think often they're,
Storage.
they're sourcing the materials and everything from start to finish. They probably have a mill, and then they have a mill. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's overhead's
I mean,
pretty.
my parents have like a Foot Locker and a bed frame,
Mhm.
all bought from
Oak.
a local Amish place. Yeah, all oak,
Mhm.
all white
Yeah.
oak, and
Yeah.
and I mean it's very nice. And I've looked at
Yeah.
it and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, those are dovetails. Like it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but they've figured it out. I mean, they're industrial
Yeah.
people in their
100%.
simplicity.
And their lifestyle. They don't need a huge profit margin to.
Also
Right.
true. Yes.
New
Yes.
truck. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, moving on. This is the time where we ask you about your pursuits outside of woodworking. But
Oh,
I know
okay.
you recently scaled Mount Kilimanjaro, so I think
I
I'm
did.
most
Yeah.
interested about that.
I did. Yeah, I turned 50 this past summer, and two friends and I that we've been trail running together for years. And we had this idea about a year ago, and we planned and sort of trained. And yeah, and we spent a week climbing Mount Kilimanjaro with a team of guides and porters, and it was just really kind of a life-changing trip. It was incredible.
I mean, you can't really train for the elevation, can you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, unless you go to elevation to train. I mean, if you
No,
go,
yeah, exactly. I mean, locally,
I think
unless you live near a mountain, you can't train
uh,
elevation.
East Coast maybe can hike up to 4,000 or 5,000 feet in Virginia, North Carolina. We did some of that, but you try to be in as good physical shape as you can, but
Sure.
yeah, you can't. You don't know how your body's going to do at elevation, and it's just different for every person. So the trip, though, they haven't really figured out on how to take you day by day to help you avoid the altitude sickness. So you start out and you go up, and then maybe have lunch, and then you go back down a little bit to sleep. And the next day you go a little bit higher and then back down. So
Oh,
you kind of stress your system during the day, but you sleep a little lower. And so we did that we started out about 11,000 feet. And then the summit night, it was the fifth night, we were at I think about 15,000 feet. And then at midnight that night, we left for the summit, got up there about 7 a.m. or so when the sun came up, and that's a little over 19,000. But by then,
wow.
the altitude, I wasn't having any altitude sickness. I just was really, it was really tired. I mean, you take
Yeah,
one
the
step,
fatigue is there.
you take a couple breaths, and you take another step and a few breaths. So, yeah,
It's not
it,
like
it,
you're not like supplied oxygen depleted, right? Like it's not
yeah,
that bad.
no, I mean, you just have to manage your pace. You just have to go very, very slow.
Mhm.
The guides say pole pole, which in Swahili means slowly, slowly. So that's the mantra, pole pole.
Did you see your heart
But
rate just spiking during those times?
yeah, I mean, we had twice a day medical checks where they check your resting heart rate and your blood oxygen saturation to make sure that you're doing okay. You're not at risk
Okay.
of any. But there were some days with some pretty bad headaches, and you kind of lose your appetite too, that's a problem because you need that fuel so you can get
Sure.
up to the top. And we had a wonderful cook, and they brought up fresh food, and he cooked three hot meals a day. But you're kind of just trying to force it down because you don't really have an appetite. But
Wow.
yeah, without that, you're not going to make it. You need those calories. So yeah.
But it was worth it, right?
Oh,
Like
absolutely. It was unbelievable. It was life-changing.
that's super cool. You're the second person I know to have
Okay.
summited
Well,
Kilimanjaro, and
you ever think of
um,
the list? Like,
yeah. It I don't know if that's quite on the bucket list, but it's somewhere out there.
I think
Uh,
that mountain is it's kind of on the list of pretty challenging altitude mountaineering kind of things, but it's pretty safe.
yeah, it's doable, right? It's not as
It's
treacherous, right?
I mean, you hike all the way to the top. I mean, there's a couple spots where you're kind of, using your hands to pull yourself up, but I never felt like I was in any sort of danger. The night we were trying to rest before the summit, but I did hear the helicopter evacuations go on throughout the night. I thought, well, maybe this
Oh,
is hard. But yeah, we never felt unsafe or anything, but it was a physical challenge, and it felt like a big accomplishment without, taking on any sort of unnecessary risk to do something
yeah,
silly.
no, that's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just spending a week with those guys and learning about their lifestyle and their country, it was really, really amazing. They're wonderful, strong people. Yeah.
Yeah. Did y'all do any other sightseeing while you're all there?
No, well, two of us came home. My one buddy, he stayed on and did a safari, but Amanda wants to do a safari together. So she said, no, we'll do that another day. So I came.
Okay. There you go.
Because it ended up being like a 12-day trip anyway. So
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's
Thanks.
something else. That's
It was
something
fun.
else. Do you get like a little badge or something like that?
It was funny. The three of us a lot of really long distance races together, really far runs, and usually at the end of a race, sometimes you get a medal or something. I know, Sean, I know you're a marathoner,
Yep.
and when they put like a medal around her neck, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I medal for my rack here.
That's a special one, man. Like that's different. That's different. I have a friend who's getting ready, like she does like ultras.
Yeah, I've done a
She's
bunch
done-
of ultras. Yeah.
She's done the Superior 100, which is like the
Okay.
north coast of the Lake Superior.
Yeah.
It's like 1,200 feet of elevation, and like she tries to beat 30 hours every time she does it, like those kind of things. Like,
Yeah.
but they get a belt buckle, and she
Yeah,
has a
yeah.
tattoo. Like those are the marks of that. Like
Yeah.
it's a little different. She's now getting ready for it's not in Arizona, but there's a 250-mile race next year that she's doing.
Okay. Top.
Which is like next level to me.
Oh,
Like that is phenomenally long.
I've done two 200-milers. So I got the belt buckles, but I tell you that part is that summit up Kilimanjaro. I've never been so tired.
Yeah, different, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
do you know the distance traveled to get up that high?
Oh, throughout the week, I think maybe we might have done like roughly a 50K total
Okay.
from when
So
the bus
30
dropped.
miles, give or take. Like
That was over 6 days.
yeah.
The summit night was like 3 kilometers and about 4,000 feet in elevation, and it took us 8 hours to go
Oh
through.
gosh.
Yeah, it was just a crawl. Yeah,
Yeah, man, oh man. Yeah, that's a completely different struggle.
yeah, yeah. So we had quite that down.
That's interesting. Well, man, I imagine the porters are in like incredible shape.
Oh, and they're just little guys, but they got to carry their own personal items for the week, and then they're kind of regulated. They're only allowed to carry 15 kilograms of weight, per the rest of the team. So, they would carry our tents, our sleeping bags, our water, our food. We would just had a day pack basically with our personal gear for the day. And then we had a duffel bag. They would carry our duffel, and they would, they also have to beat us to the next camp. So they would leave after us cleaning up. Then they would basically run by us on the trail up the mountain. They'd have everything set up, and then they would go back down the valley to the water source to bring water up to boil and sterilize. They carry the 5-gallon buckets of water on their head. I mean, these guys are incredibly strong, and they're always smiling and joking around. They're just really amazing people. Yeah, and
That's crazy. You're talking about like a 5-gallon pack of water. That's an extra 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Let alone whatever else you're carrying, and you got to like traverse faster than you're doing. I mean, they're obviously acclimated and they know what they're doing. They not just oxygen but muscles. They know what they're going through.
Yeah,
but
they're
dang.
I mean, they're not carrying another extra ounce at least of body weight. It's all.
Yeah, that's true.
They're pretty little guys, but it was amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, let's move on to our fortnightly beer choices. So I'll start us off. I'm back on the house beer Guinness because I couldn't find any Oktoberfest left at my store. So
Good for you.
Oh well. So Sean, what are you drinking?
So I like I previously said, I was up in Grand Haven, and Oddside Brewery is there. Anything you can find with Oddside, get it. It's great. Other brewery up there was I think it was Grand Armory. Really cool place. We ate there, good food, and I had something called a pumpkin slappuccino, which was a fun little thing. But tonight I actually picked up something Outer Belt Brewing. I don't even know where this comes from, but they call it Golf Cart, and it's a blood orange golden ale, which is very, very nice. So I mean, I'm kind of all over the board tonight. Just drink what you like and drink happy.
And there you go.
Cheers.
Cheers, indeed. Michael, how about you, man?
Yeah, like I said, we were in New England a few weeks ago, and Amanda's dad, my father-in-law, went up to Treehouse Brewery, which makes really great beer, and they don't
Yeah.
distribute, I think, outside of their breweries, their brew pubs. So he gave me a couple beers, and this is their this is called House. I guess it's their house beer, and it's a dry hopped lager, so it's really crisp. It's like
Hmm.
3% ABV, so it's pretty light. Yeah, it's pretty tasty.
Nice.
Yeah, dry hopped
Yeah.
lager. That
Mhm.
you like sprinkle it in like salt, like just a little bit. It's not gonna be heavy.
Yeah,
That's
no, this
pretty
looks
cool.
really.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Wonderful. Well, so Michael, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, my website is mjurywoodworks.com. I've got our whole portfolio, and I have a good photographer, gave me some nice photos that I put up there. And then Instagram, I'm pretty active. I try to be. That's also at mjurywoodworks.
Fantastic. All right, well, let's move on to feedback. So what do we have, Sean?
Yeah, so episode 574 with Jacob Goodman. I'm gonna try to say this right. Alma Guerglass. I don't know if that's correct. Just said yes. Very positive. Very well.
I think that's a glassmaker that he's worked with.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I think that's the same. Jeff Wyatt just gave us the clap emoji. Thank you. Cheering. Well done. And Gary Rogowski, friend of the show, said HMR Woodcraft, every episode with Gary is a winner in my book, and we agree.
That's right. That's right. So if you would like to leave us some comments, feel free to do that on MWA_podcast, or leave us a 5-star review wherever you're getting your podcast from. That really helps us out a lot. And thank you so much, Michael, for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
And that just about wraps it up for this show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on the podcatcher of your choice. Just search for the Modern Woodworkers Association. And while you're there, please leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at MWA_podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcast, go over to patreon.com/MWA podcast. But the best thing you can do is tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a long way in sharing our discussion.